Hello and welcome back to 4000 and Counting YouTube channel. We have a treat for you today. This Thursday it is one day until Team Great Britain head off to Nottingham, Coventry and Milton Keynes to play in the Euro Challenge. They have Romania, Japan and Mark. Who else? Help me out. I'm struggling for the... I already said that. Romania, Japan. Who else is it? I can't even think.
Oh shit, Poland.
Poland, of course it is. Obviously, it is Poland. What a great start to this week's. Well, so this day, we've been coming thick and fast. Two previous videos this week. I hope you caught up. We talked about the NIHL import numbers, and we talked about should big clean hits lead to fights. We'll link these at the end of the video. You'll be able to watch them there. But today it's all about Team GB. Pete Russell named his 31-man squad a couple of weeks back. We've seen some new additions. Podcast guests, Brandon Whistle, well, both boys, in fact, both made the roster. So shout out to them. Great to see them. Podcast guest, Cam Critchlow. He's got his first shot. Manchester Storm, Jordan. It's good to see him in the mix. There's a few podcast guests in there. Batchy's in there. Bouncy's in there. I'm sure I'm forgetting some future guests as well. There's no way we don't get Josh Waller on this podcast at some stage. But Mark, let's run through the roster. So in goal, we touched on Bouncy and Whistle. Who joins them?
We've got Jordan
Headley. Okay, what about defense? Because we've got obviously Batchy. We talked about Batchy. Who else is joining him there?
David Clements, Nathaniel Halbert, Sam Jones, big fan, Evan Mosey, Ben O'Connor, David Phillips, Mark Richardson, Sam Roop, Josh Teplow.
How did I forget about Ben O'Connor being on the pod? He's been on 4 times. Yeah. Dowdy's been on actually when they were away at the last World Championships. They jumped on and spoke to us, which was awesome. And David Phillips, he's been on the pod. So there's a few guys there. There's a few old wily vets that are at the back there like that. Okay, so up front, who you got for me?
We've got Betteridge, Critchlow, Johnny Curran, Ben Davies, Dowd, Duggan, Hammond. Nice to see him back. Hook, Kirk, Lake, Blacko, Myers, Nielsen. I can't even read my fucking writing. Phillips, Venus, Waller, Whistle, and Pellini.
Right, I'm going to start with this one. 700 games for a 28-year-old is a sick joke. Shout out Ross Venus of the Coventry Blaze. That is incredible. Bravo, that man. 700 Elite League games in all competitions, playoffs, cups, and league, etc. That's a hell of an achievement. Coming on the back of Richie. Shout out Richie. Joined the 1000 Brigade. Up there with Jono and Myesy. That's an illustrious club to be a part of, and couldn't happen to a better guy. What a proper professional. I like the roster, and I would like to have seen one man in that roster, though.
Let me take a guess who that is.
Should Kieran Brown have made the 31-man squad?
Yes, he should have made the 31-man squad, especially in an opportunity like this before the major championships. You know, you've got a Challenge Cup here, a Euro Ice Hockey Challenge Cup with Japan in. It's going to be...
Yeah, how does that work? Because it's called the Euro Challenge, but Japan are in it. I hadn't gave that much thought up until you just said it. But yeah, like I would have liked to see Kieran Brown. He's had a hell of a year at the National League last year. He's carried it on this year. It's been no fluke. I think given the opportunity in that squad, he would bring something to the table. Now, I think if you're on the National League side of it, everybody wants to see him go. If you're on the Elite League side of it, they seem to remember the Kieran Brown that was on a two-way or sitting on the bench for the Sheffield Steelers. This is not the same player. This is a player with ability and bags and bags and bags of talent. He has so much talent. He's competitive. He doesn't like to lose. I watched Shawnee Norris, shout out Shawnee, nice breakaway game-winning goal up in Leeds the other day. Nice. And Kieran slammed his stick on the board, fucking pissed off. And I like that.
That's what you
I
want to see, the passion.
I don't want to. I don't want my players to be okay with losing, and especially if I'm in a title race. It's only 1 point, but 1 point's massive. When you're up at the top there and it's tight, 1 point's big. So his will to win, his ability on the puck, the space he creates for himself and other people off the puck. I'd like to see him at that level. Ultimately, he's got a good deal in Leeds. I understand why he's doing what he's doing. But I'd still like to see Pete take a gamble, especially in these 3 games. We're playing Japan, we're playing Romania, we're playing Poland. There's teams that I'd expect us to beat. I think it's a good warm-up competition before the challenge games and then before we get into the World Championship series, where we need to get out of that division. It's a must. We are in a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity kind of thing to get out of that division the way it's without Russia, without Belarus at the top table. Obviously, 2 teams have moved up, which means 2 teams from Division 1B are now in Division 1A, who most of the time, let's face it, they're not going to be playing in that division. So we have a fantastic opportunity up in Nottingham to get the gold medal. Fuck, I'll take silver. Silver gets you promoted. I mean, I want gold. I'll take silver. Anything else would be a failure at home with the squad we have. I mean, there's still people to come back to that squad. What do we make of Scott Conway pulling out and making himself unavailable? Obviously, he talked in his Twitter statement about it. Essentially, it's a grind. He's leading the team. He's leading the league in scoring once again. He did last year. He was right up there. Him and Piccinich. He's up there on his own this year, and maybe he didn't think 3 games were going to be beneficial to him right now. He thought maybe a fortnight or 10 days rest, maybe some trips abroad, a couple of days away, just stretch the legs out a little bit and maybe thought that would benefit him. I don't think he's ruled himself out of the World Championships. So, hey, maybe this is a stroke of fucking genius that he doesn't play now. And then he comes in at the World Champs where he's had a couple of weeks rest and he's rejuvenated now, ready to go. Might be the biggest stroke of genius so far.
I think we should capitalise on that opportunity as well, having that slot. Like you say, we have Kieran Brown. This is a competition which, okay, we should take any international game seriously. But it's a chance to, like, I'm going to compare it with football. You have a pre-season, you mix it up, you chuck in guys that sort of have never played in the first team or on trial. We've got really not a huge amount to lose from these 3 games. Let's be honest. We should win these 3 games, but we should also mix up with the future talent of what's coming through in the GB. As you can see within our roster, there's some guys that, let's be honest, in the next few years might not be there because they might be stepping down from hockey. I'm just saying that could be 5 years' time, but who's going to replace these guys? You got Kieran Brown waiting there. Test the water. Is he capable of international hockey?
I mean, this is a good chance to test the water. Perfect analogy. Like, test the water out now, and all of us that are championing for him, like myself, if he goes and she shits the bed, well, you can go and tell me to stick it up my ass. Tell me I was wrong. I'll happily admit to being wrong. If he goes up there and stinks the bed out, can't see it happening. He's not going to go up there and just become a bad hockey player. It's not going to happen. Like, the kid's got skill. He's got bags of talent. The other thing is he's young. He's got fucking bags of potential. Someone gets their hands on him, and I watch him on his Instagram and that. He's in the gym. He's doing bits. If they get their hands on him, there's a weapon to be had there. If he got, say, similar treatment to someone we haven't talked about yet, but Liam Kirk, if he got like a similar kind of pathway to him, talent-wise, at the same age, they were not far away from being as like good as each other. I think he's a good player, and I think there's more to Kieran Brown than what some of the elite league people give him credit for. And I'm all for seeing him get shot. Jordan Headley, the only National League player to make it, I think, with part in being obviously the fact that he's on a 2-way with Coventry. He's played some game times for Coventry in the last couple of seasons, including this one. I like Jordan. I think he's a good goalie. Some people were calling for Sam Gospel to maybe get a shot. Maybe he's one of the other guys that could potentially get a look in. But we're going to be riding Jackson and Bounsy's coattails anyway. Both are having pretty decent seasons. Bouncy was getting called out a little while earlier in the season, but from what I can tell, he seems to be stopping the park.
Yeah, two solid netminders as well. Three. I like Headley, but yeah, you got your starters in Bounds and Whistle. Maybe they're on a rotation. I mean, that fills me with confidence knowing that those two guys will be there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching those boys between the pipes. Both podcast lads, they know what's up. You know what's up. Hit 4,000, hit subscribe right now on YouTube. Turn the bell on. Don't miss any of our content. Trying to bring you as much as we can when we can, as well as our regular guest episodes. I'm buzzing for some of the episodes we've got coming up. I'm not going to ruin it today. I'll let you maybe in on our next video. I'll let you know who's coming on the podcast next week. We've got the Stephen Fournier interview dropping right now, which is huge. It might already even be out. Obviously, when we spoke to him, we were talking about him like really wanting to be a Cardiff Devil and how excited he was and what the opportunity. And the podcast's not even out yet, and already he's been released for breaching his contract. We don't know what it is. We won't speculate, but that's wild. Some wild stuff going on, Mark. I like it.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Coronation Street.
Oh, I don't know. That's my mum's thing, mate. I'm not a soap guy.
I don't watch it here in Austria.
No, they don't have the street on over in Austria, no. Do they have like the Austrian equivalent?
I fucking no idea.
You'd have no idea, yeah. I'm a big YouTube guy, so shout out to all the YouTubers. You've been keeping me entertained for the last couple of years. I like YouTube as an avenue. I like what it does. I like that it allows us to do these things and interact with you guys in the comments and stuff. So do comment. It does help the algorithm. We're trying to get this channel out there. We want to get as many people subscribing, and we want to bring hockey content to the UK. It's a rare thing. None of the mainstream media are going to do it. I'm in a position where I've been now doing this for so long. I'm over 200 episodes. I've got fantastic connections to people. This is only the start. We will be doing YouTube lives with players. We'll be doing special appearances at venues. We'll be doing all sorts of stuff, including going to watch GB at the World Champs up in Nottingham, potentially even the warm-up games prior, if possible. And, the playoff finals weekends, whether it be Coventry or whether it be Nottingham, not decided yet, be making an appearance at one of those. So our YouTube channel is going to be exciting. We're going to be able to bring you behind the scenes content that you don't really get from anywhere else, purely on the fact that a lot of these guys are my friends. So when you rock up, it makes life a little bit easier when you try to get a cheeky word. But GB, this is going to be 3 wins for me at the weekend.
Should be, and yeah.
How fussed are you? How fussed? So you're a fan, so I'll ask you this: how fussed are you about the results?
We are not fussed about the score lines, but we should win all of those games.
Okay, so are you looking more for performances or results?
Performances.
What about opportunities? Would you like to see
Headley?
Would you like to see Headley start a game? Would you like to see all the dual nats get in for their first games together? Do you kind of spread it out a little bit?
The Poland game out of those three, for me, is the one which we should be taking the most serious.
It's the most rivalry, right? If we was to call it a rivalry.
Yeah, and for Headley, I'd like to see him play the Romania game. We should use that game as our experiment. I mean, no disrespect to Romania, but we should be beating them. Japan will give us a test. They're always a speedy team. They've got some skill. Poland, not bad. They're a decent side. They'll give us a run for their money, but we should beat them, and Romania should be the one which we should be testing the water. Do
we know if Thomas Malasinski is still in the Poland national setup, or is he retired from that now?
I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Right, Wildcats fans, let us know. Is Thomas Malasinski arguably right now the NIHL's best player? Since our man up in Leeds has gone to the Elite League with the Giants, it's very much been the Thomas Malasinski show. He's lighting it up. I'm pretty sure he's right there at the top of the league and scoring. But
Kieran Brown.
with Kieran Brown, yeah, Kieran Brown's right there as well. Obviously, I would like to see him get his shot. Turkey's back in the mix. Who else have we got? We've got guys, Brits abroad. Brits abroad. Tell us, Mark. You know who's abroad.
Well, of course, we have Liam Kirk in Jokerit. He has 14 games, 2 plus 8, 6 pims. So he's doing well there still. Nice to see him.
Yeah, 10 points in 14 games in Liga is very, very good. Like, if you look at their top scorer, I can't remember off the top of my head, but their top scorer is running at about the same amounts of points per game as Kirky is. So he's obviously they've played more games, but he's there or thereabouts. So shout out to him.
And then we've got the second league in Finland, Mestis, with Josh Tetlow. He's 38 games, 2 plus 6, 14 pims. His team currently sits. His team was it Rocky? Sit third out of 14. So
yeah, attaboy Tats.
Good league as well.
I've got a lot of time for Josh Tetlow, and I've got a lot of time for what he brings to the team and how much he's worked on himself. He's worked on his development. He's taken a risk. He's gone abroad. He's settled in, and he seems to be playing some good hockey over there. So I'm really excited to see what he brings in this Elite League winter break. By the way, I'm a big fan of, maybe we'll do another video on this. It's a great topic, but the winter break in the Elite League to allow us to have these internationals, I'm fucking all for it. Everybody else does it. It's great to finally see that the Elite League doing it, giving the guys a bye weekend. Saw podcast guest Matt Petgrave. He's out on holiday right now. So the guys that are not playing, that have taken the time to come over and play from Canada and America, they now get a weekend to go to Spain, to go to Rome, to go wherever and see a bit of Europe. I think it's fucking great.
Makes the league a bit more attractive as well for them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to sort of have a relax, maybe spend time with family.
Yeah, family comes over, they go see London, take them up, go see Scotland, do whatever. All of a sudden you have this one week, 10-day period, kind of like the NHL All-Star break. We hear about guys going down to Cabo and going to Cancun and flying down to the Florida Keys and doing these things, getting some sunshine for a few days. Why the fuck not? Imagine you've been up in Edmonton and it's been minus 20. And you got 10 days off. You're like, get me on a plane and get me some sunshine right now.
Just think of the product that comes back on the ice with those fresh legs.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys that are fresh. Obviously, the guys that are playing these 3 games over the weekend, they might need a couple of days off leading up in the week, but they're going to be match fit. Like, they're going to be fine. These guys are so in the thick of the season now. The games are just rolling and they're just rolling through them. But I think that's enough rambling on the GB. We're obviously all up at them. Actually, I tell you what, no, it's not, because there's still more Brits. What about Mr. Pliny?
Pliny, so he's out in Denmark for the Herning Blue Fox. 27 games, 9 plus 11, so that's 20 overall, 2 pims.
Ollie Bettridge is away as well, isn't he? He's playing out in Hungary.
Yeah, he's in Hungary in the Erste Liga. He's with, I'm going to butcher this name, Ferenc Veros. He has 28 games, 10 plus 14, that's 28 overall, with 6 pims.
Sick maths, 10 plus 14 is 28. Sound like you're doing Watty maths right there. But yeah, 24 points in 28 games. That's a good knock. We'll take that. So it sounds like all the Brits that are playing abroad this year are doing well.
I read that. I just realised I read the games twice.
Yeah, you did read the games twice. I thought you might have. But it's good to see the Brits doing well. I'm happy that the squad is the way it is. We could have saw Kieran Long in there, Jordan County, Owen Griffiths. There's other Brits that are kind of doing their thing in the Elite League. Mac Howlett's obviously now dropped down to Leeds. Everybody seems to be mega impressed by him. I don't know who else that's really in the Elite League that would be in with a sniff, but they would be Ferrara. He's not made the mix this time.
It's been a bit of a struggle for him this season. Quality player, but it's not really. Nottingham is not really performed this year. Let's be honest. I just think that's sort of held him back this year.
Yeah, when you're
the talent is there. He's an incredible player.
You don't go from leading the Elite League and scoring to not being able to score. It doesn't happen. Like, the ability to score goals doesn't just dry up. He will. I saw an interview earlier in the season. So 15 games in. He was like, I think I've hit the post crossbar in every game. I mean, it's like when you get one of them and you can't get the monkey off your back, it's a struggle. I think he obviously then did get the monkey off his back, and he tucked a couple, and I'm not sure how he's getting on right now, but he's missed out. Stringers has missed out. There's guys that have missed out, and there will be future dual nats that will come in. I don't know. We'll see where GB go after this, but ultimately, in this next 6 months, not even 4.5 months, it is crucial for the UK national team. Something else that we will talk about, not in this video, because I don't want to make it about it. Let us know if you want us to talk about it. It is the EIHA and Ice Hockey UK split. I don't know if we're ever going to get taken seriously properly until we become one organization. But if you guys want us to talk about that, we'll do a special video on that one. But GB, pump for you boys, pump for all the fans. I hope everybody has a great time in Milton Keynes, in Coventry, and in Nottingham. Shout out to the other teams as well for coming over, Japan, Romania, and Poland for coming over and taking these games on, giving us a bit of competition. It's going to be good. I'm excited to see Pete Russell back behind the bench. Obviously, he's not being behind the bench because he's been released from his DEL contract. So Pete's going to be he's going to be raring to go, knowing Pete. I'm excited. I'm excited for the guys. I hope everybody tunes in. I hope everybody gets their tickets. You can get your tickets on Ice Hockey UK. We'll put a link in the description below where you guys can get your get your tickets, sorry. But yeah, there's also a link to become a patron. If you would like to become a patron, help us run this podcast, help us get to these events and do these things, bring all these fantastic interviews. Become a patron at patron/4000 account, and links in the description below. Follow us on all social medias. At Twitter. No, let's try that again. We'll try that again. At 4000 Counting on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You will find us there. Mark, it's been fun. Let's go Team GB.